Ki khubor ka Batesi TV.
Ka umdi basnyam bat penjasliang. Rupa Premium Meghalaya.
Admission open for playgroup, pre-nursery and nursery. Angels Play School, Upper Lachimia, Shillong. Contact 98635 or 6009322
Bull, a specially designed machine that is stronger, faster, more powerful and fuel efficient. Contact Orange Automobile at 977-400-3555 or 961-584-7757.
Uno yalam kaliang persyaw Dr. Mukul Sangma ulawan ra ekarai lani ke resolution yang Dorbar tauan ke jela bandawa na ke yang Dorbar baka dewan Pynlong no Jaka Tura kum kenong ba telang lani ke winter capital jong ke jela. Dr. Mukul ulaong beladawan ra kenong ba telang hatura kandon ke jing sngo iet ke jing sngo jan baka jing tek song kum shipara hapadang ki khasi bat ki garo. Shushu ulaong badan kamru baka jela kan Pynlong Dorbar om tang hatura hiridan kamru ban Pynlong Dorbar Jowai bat wat Nongstoiñ ru. Ulang baga jela ka IP sari ki spak klori ki district council bagi district council ki haban Pynbiang ki Jaka Pynlong Dorbar na bentakin rup hongut ki MLA namar bakila dan lupa ki Jaka berkisnat rekam jongki hakini gisar. Dr. Mukul ula panjing kershan na ki para MLA bikin kershan yakani karai ba ulawan ra ndik bebun ki MLA kim shimla ajing kershan ya u. Haba jubab yakani umindirang ba ka jela ulang baga sarkar kale bon ki kam ki baga sarkar kale hari luam garo Kenang bagi pat ba kin sngo tribe kin sngo jan ula kedoi ke bebun ki jingtei nadu ki mini secretariat ki block office ke Raj Bhavan ke jing Pynlong ke national games bat ki wei pat ki kam ki baka sarkar kala tre hari lom garo ba ke jing tre kam ke jan hapreng ke sarkar bat ki pat ba hading ke ni ke jing pensyai jong konrad Dr. Mukul ula weng no ya ke ni ke resolution jong u.
I also shared this view earlier when I was privileged to be the leader of this August House, that we can, I appreciate the government. The CM has had a number of cabinet meetings outside Shillong, outside the state capital. That is something which demonstrates, yes, we would like to, even though our state is so small, but we know how the state is. You know, the aspirational issues are always there. So going to Jaintia Hills, going to Sora to have cabinet meetings, going to Tura and having cabinet meetings, we must appreciate it. Yes, it sends message. It has a powerful message. Similarly, I subscribe to the idea prior to 2018 that we should have even assembly session in Jowai. We should have assembly session in Tura. When we tried to do this, of course, there were so many other associated burden which comes along with that proposal. But then it is doable. 2 days session in Tura or 3 days session in Tura, 2 days session in 3 days session in Jowai, or some other day session even in Nongstoiñ. So some of my friends say, sir, where will we have infrastructure? So I said, we are giving money to district council, more than 100 crore. Let the district council look at, constructing a beautiful new chamber for them. I expected, we gave huge amount of money. And I suggested to them also, look at that place, talk to the clan, where the people have been so generous and with their utmost concern for getting development, agreed to give that 100 acres of land for medical college, that 300 acres in Doldigri. Now this constituency has become the constituency of one of our newly elected leader, a woman leader from Gambigri. And lots of infrastructure is taking place there. So I told them, get some land. The district council chamber in Hawakhana is in the midst of a very crowded place. Create some natural expansion, like what we are doing in Shillong, taking the assembly building to new township, giving 80 acres of land, and then allow a natural expansion of the city. But of course, they decided it otherwise. They spend the money for others. But then, we can always look at even with existing infrastructures. Jowai has district council to accommodate 60 of us. If we can have this assembly prior to having our permanent assembly building in this auditorium, which was not designed for hosting an assembly session, we can always find a way. Where there's a will, there is a way. So I think even as I propose this House to resolve to adopt this resolution, my submission before the August House is that may the government look at this proposal also, start having assembly sessions in different parts of the state, at least a short session. It is not impossible, it is not too difficult. I have examined it during our time. The only thing is that we could not do it, so the desire and wish may be shared by all of us. Maybe the Chief Minister is already having it in his mind, I never know. But then I think sometimes we think together, we think same thing sometimes. So I would like to again remind us, the privileged members of this August House. Many of us are witness to this conversation. The conversation of the shared desire of our forefathers, our revered leaders of the past. So I would not like to lengthen my submission because the intent is very clear. The voice has echoed from there, and this is not a voice, I think it is not something which is politicized. It is only, a voice which represents, the whole collective desire, because this whole conversation has been doing the round and round and round, and ultimately it emanated as a voice representing the people. So with these few words, may I, therefore, seek the support of all our distinguished, illustrious members of this August House. Our forefathers, our revered leader of the past have demonstrated their resolve to come together and take very tough decisions and overcome challenges. And that's how they have glued us together with the power of love to have this sense of oneness, where the sense of brotherhood and love prevails. And we must, as leaders, really look at this very powerful weapon, the weapon of love, to unite our people together. And for it is written, for love doesn't harm the neighbor. The love doesn't do any harm to the neighbor. That's why love is the fulfillment of it. And it is nothing but this power of law, the power of love, which has brought us here in this August House. We love our people. That's why we want to serve our people. That's why all the distinguished 60 members are here. People may say many things about politicians. People think that we are the only people who are not good. We don't belong to the so-called good class, honest class. You see in electronic media, you see anywhere, people are prompt to actually jump to conclusion and comment on politicians, as though what good things have not happened because of the politician. Any good thing that has happened in the state, any good thing that has happened in the country is because of the politicians, because of the policymakers. The law that has been made are by the lawmakers, because all the law is an offshoot of the commandment of God. So have we not fulfilled our purpose? Yes. It is the politicians who have brought our people thus far. It is the politicians and policymakers who are responsible to see that our people don't starve anymore, but are in this era where we share the same dream like people in West. You look at us, dress up like Western people. That day I saw when the president of Ukraine went to America, one of the reporter media confronted him about the dress even. So, so whatever it is, I think, speaks volumes. These are something which should enable us to really convince ourselves that God has been kind to us and have blessed us. Let our people prosper and multiply in this state. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. With these few words, I urge upon all our friends, our colleagues in this August House, to be pleased to agree to this resolution and resolve unanimously to adopt this resolution. I heard that the honorable member from Rongjeng, my neighbor, his people and my people from the respective constituencies go to the same market, go to the same hospital, go to the same school. If the teachers are there, good teachers, they share the benefit of coming out with flying colors. One very good school is there in Rongjeng. All my children from my area also go there. So, these are all interconnected. So I think I have made my point. All my distinguished friends and colleagues of this August House, may God bless you with wisdom and knowledge, and may we all not lean on our own understanding, but lean on the wisdom of God. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Once again, with these few words, I hope that everybody will actually agree with me to adopt this resolution unanimously. Thank you.
Honorable Leader of Opposition mentioned in his speech that we, for the first time, started taking the cabinet to Resubel sir, your constituency. We had a cabinet meeting. To Jowai, to Sora, to Tura. And the whole idea of doing this is to give a sense of belonging to the people of the state. I know some members have mentioned about the cost. So these kind of meetings and programs that we do cannot be valued in terms of the cost. Because if you start looking at that, then you're losing the meaning of taking the cabinet to the people. How happy people feel when they say, oh, the cabinet is in my town. For the first time, it's happening in our town. So that is the kind of sentiment that goes with these kind of things. And there's a reason why we're doing it. So yes, cost is there. There's no doubt about it. Cost is there. But I think the larger messaging of involving everybody, to show that every section of our society, every district, every individual person is important to us. I think that is the larger messaging that we want to give. So therefore, our cabinet on the move, as we call it, will continue, sir. Will continue. In the beginning, last term, in 2018, I still have the papers with me, but we could not continue this program in the first term because of COVID. But we had started by putting ministers, cabinet ministers in charge of districts, specifically. And I made sure that the ministers from Khasi Hills would be in charge of Garo Hills, and the ministers from Garo Hills would be in charge, and Jente Hills would be in charge in different parts, wherever possible. Of course, it's not possible fully. And the idea being that we would want that minister to handhold every aspect, go to that village, go to that district, and spend time. So therefore, sir, there are a lot of actions that we have taken to convey and show the intent of this government to involve people, to ensure that we bring all-round development irrespective of the regions in our state. The integrated administrative complex, 170 crores is going to be spent for an integrated administrative complex in Tura. In the beginning, we had thought we will make it into a small office. But let me share. If you look at the design of the integrated administrative complex, there is a room for the chief minister. There are rooms for all the cabinet ministers. There is a cabinet room. There's an office space for the chief secretary. Why are we doing this, sir? This is the action that I am referring to. This is how we will bring the administration closer. And it's not just Tura. In Jowai, the integrated administrative complex is coming up. Different facilities will be there. And this is again being done because of the aspirations, as we say, of the people. The need and the desire of the people to see that the administration, see and feel the administration coming closer to them. So therefore, sir, the process in one way is already on. We don't have to even declare things. The work is on. Our honorable member from Dalu mentioned about the Raj Bhavan in Tura. I appreciate. Previous regime had bought the land, started the work. For whatever reason, things got slowed down for quite a long time. But as soon as I came in, because it was something that I was eyeing and I was also not feeling comfortable seeing it just standing still like that. Without going into the history of things, but appreciating, as I said, past regimes for initiating that. As soon as we came in, we made it a point that we will go ahead and finish it. And when we went into the details, there was a huge cost escalation involved, and we had to find resources to do this. And I still remember talking to my officials. It's not about completing the Raj Bhavan. Understand what this is. This is not just a Raj Bhavan, but it is a symbol of involvement and making the people of Garo Hills feel that yes, we are also being given that importance. That's what it is. It's a symbol. And that is the reason we made sure, sir, that we went ahead and the Raj Bhavan was completed, and I was so happy that it was inaugurated, and the President of India, who has never in the past ever come to Garo Hills and to Tura, was there and was stayed one night, and as I said, even inaugurated the Meghalaya Games. Sir, it's not just, as I said, about how we have approached the entire administrative functioning and infrastructure in locations like Tura and Jowai. We have an integrated administrative complex coming up in Peninsula, in the Honorable Deputy CM's office, constituency. For the first time, all blocks in the state, all blocks were given new buildings. New buildings, sir. There was some, I remember when I was earlier MLA of Silsila constituency. I remember going to the block. It's a bad shape, sir. It was in bad shape. As a huge block. Over 1 lakh population came under that one block. That time, sir. And now, of course, Batabari has come in and others. But it was a huge block. And the office was, I think, sir, maybe just double the size of this area that you're sitting in. That's it. And I still remember making up my mind at that moment that the moment I get a chance to ever do something to make the blocks, I will make sure that I make all the blocks. These decisions that I made in 2008-9 when I was MLA, I didn't think that I'll give this opportunity to be leading the government. But in whatever capacity, I told myself that I'm going to move ahead with this. Though 2008, we got 1 year, but it was not enough for me to move things at that point in time. But when I got the full opportunity, sir, we have sanctioned blocks, new block buildings for all the blocks. And not only that, all the new blocks that have been created, we are sanctioning new buildings for them this year. So all of them will get new buildings. I don't remember the year because data is not with me right now. But Bakmara constituency, our MLAs here in South Garo Hills, MLAs are here. 35 years back, the district was announced. Am I correct? 35 years? So 35 years back, the district of South Garo Hills was formed. And many people may not know, till last year, there was no DC office sanctioned in Bakmara. Bakmara has been functioning for 35 years without a DC office. In the old SDO office. And it was with the insistence of Mr. Rakam and all the other MLAs that we sanctioned the new DC office in Bakmara, and very soon the work will be completed. It's not just Bakmara alone, sir. If you go to all the new districts that have been created, most of them don't have SP offices. We are sanctioning that. So my point simply being that the crux of the matter out here, apart of course from the emotional aspect and the importance of the feeling of the belongingness that is there, this aspiration that is there. Besides that, sir, the administration and ensuring that we are able to bring governance closer to the people, which is from where all of this has evolved, has been one of the top priorities of my government, sir. And we have left no stone unturned. And that is why when we had this 25 crores that we had planned for the mini secretariat, I completely changed the plan. I completely changed it and I added 3 new blocks to it. And today from 25 crores, we are going to be spending 170 crores to make this new administrative complex in Tura so that we are able to facilitate the services, as mentioned by the Honorable MLAs, so that people of Garo Hills don't have to travel far. And not just Garo Hills, people of Jente Hills. We feel Jowai is Jente Hills, but sir, you go to Clariat and you go to Sutunga, it is very deep. We think that there is an examination center in Shillong. People from Jente Hills can come very easily to Shillong. Yes, maybe Jowai can come, but you expect Clariat people and Sutunga people and all Saipung area to come here. Not easy, sir. So we need to keep all of these aspects in mind and ensure that there is a holistic approach as to how we can make the administration at the grassroots much stronger. Sir, apart from the cabinet, I was just listening to the speech of Honorable Elo, and he was mentioning that why not have 1 or 2 sessions once in a while. One day in Jowai, one day in Tura. And so you believe it or not, he got it right. I've already been discussing this aspect with Honorable Deputy CM, with the Speaker, and with other leaders. We have not come to a conclusion yet because we feel it requires a bit of consultation and administrative thing. But there is no harm, sir. There is absolutely no harm. It's good if the MLAs go. As I was mentioning, sir, when we were having the Meghalaya Games, it cost us a lot of money to host the games. But one doesn't realize it's not just about the games. It's about the character building of the people who participate. It is about the exchange program happening between the kids. I think I mentioned in this house that on an average, 70 to 75% of the athletes had never in their life gone to Jowai. Never in their life had gone to Jowai. It's very hard to imagine that because we go to Jowai so often and you to hear that some of the kids in their life have never gone to Jowai. So it is something that we should be concerned about, to be very frank. And that's why we're starting this exchange program. But similarly, for the cabinet to move and to see with their own eyes. Sir, I don't know how you feel or others feel about it, but this is something I feel very strongly. That when you are right there at that moment, and you see the issue with your own eyes, you hear it with your own ears from the person concerned, So the impact is much more than just sitting in Shillong and getting one petition and reading it and, and trying to do something out of it. The idea of connecting directly. So therefore, these things are expensive, sir. But I urge the House to keep this in mind. The price that we will pay for these kind of programs, where the cabinet moves, where the MLAs move, possibly even having sessions, the prices cannot be valued simply by the cost that you. So the returns are not just simply by the program you have, but the messaging that you give, the messaging of integration, the messaging of making people feel important. And that is really, sir, at the crux of all the activities that we are trying to do, sir. So therefore, I just want to give a sense to the House that there are many programs, many aspects that are going on, where we have sent a very strong message that all sections of society, every single community and citizen who is our citizen of our state is important to us. And we will carry everybody along in our work. And in terms of all the administrative work, as I said in the beginning of my speech, sir, actions speak louder than words. Our actions have clearly indicated the fact that we are concerned about the citizens and that we want to involve our citizens. We want to give them a sense of belonging and a sense of being part of the entire process. And that is what has been driving this entire desire to have the winter capital in Tura, sir. So having said that, to come to the conclusion, I have a long points, sir. I've got more than about another 50, 60 points, but I will refrain from going into all of that. Sir, the honorable member from Rangsakona, as well as the other members, had given some points and some suggestions. I have also read the text of the resolution very carefully. And it says that the House do not resolve to urge upon the government to examine the demand, as correctly pointed out by honorable member from Dadingri. And therefore, sir, as has been the process that is followed in the House, I urge the Honorable LO to withdraw the resolution. Because as a government, no government has ever passed a resolution that is brought by opposition. So I'll be very frank about that. It's a technically complicated issue. But the spirit of the resolution, where let us sit and examine, let us sit and discuss, let us bring people and talk and then explain the whole thing about all aspects, because it's correctly mentioned by so many members. It's not so easy, sir. To make this happen, we'll have to really put our heads together. There's a lot of people to talk to. We have to talk to people from all corners and everywhere. We have to talk to the society. We have to talk to NGOs. So many NGOs have written letters to me. I don't want to go to details. And I've appreciated all the things they've mentioned. I've told them that we will discuss. Let us put up that platform and we can examine. I have no issue in that, sir. But as I said, we cannot go with the resolution as such. But in the spirit of the resolution, I can put up an all-party kind of a committee. Let this all-party committee discuss this matter. Let it discuss with all different stakeholders even from Khasi Hills, from Jente Hills, from all the rural areas, Garo Hills, everywhere. Let us also share the different aspects of what is happening in this, what kind of complications are there. As I said, it's easy to say something, but then to fructify it is a different issue. There are so many practical aspects that we need to look at. And as I said, all the actions that we are doing are speaking louder than the words. We are already implementing so many things that are, in a way, what a winter capital is. There's infrastructure coming up. You see the online systems that we have now. Half our services, or more than that, the services are now online. Very soon, MPSC. We will not be able to require the students to come to Shillong for the examination. We are working, in a war footing to put up this examination center in Tura and in Jowai, so that the students from, again, as I said, from Clariat, from all the interior locations of East Gente Hills will not need to come all the way to Shillong, whereas they can have the exam in Jowai itself. So all of these actions are great example of what we are doing to decentralize things, to make it easy for people to get the service, and as I said, to bring overall administration closer to the people. So, sir, with these few words, once again, I thank all the members. I could make out that all were emotional also. But as I said, here we are as a government, and since this opposition has brought this resolution, we are going to go with the spirit of it. We will be having the committee. We will call different stakeholders to examine. And with that assurance from my side, I would urge our mover of the resolution if he can withdraw the resolution. And with these few words, I resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now may I know the minds of the mover of the motion, resolution, whether he would like to withdraw his resolution or not.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I must at the very outset place on record my deep sense of appreciation for the elaborate and comprehensive reply, and which itself is indicative of the spirit which is in sync with the spirit of this resolution. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, you have enlightened us very elaborately. In fact, I could see that you were becoming emotional at the time of your submission, because these issues revolves around the aspirations of people, of our dear people. And as I've said, there are reasons for us to be emotive sometimes, because we know where we stand. Before I make my this stand known, I only want to make a submission on one particular submission made by one of the members from Rongjeng, my neighbor, that why you did not do you during your time. You see, government, the repository of state power is upon all of us, including the government employees. And with this comes the responsibility of carrying forward to fulfill our call of duty based on the time. There's time when we need to keep quiet, there is a time when we need to speak. And let it be very clear, abundantly clear, that the collective voice of the people demanding this has not been so loud and clear during my time. Let us be abundantly clear. Yes. Was there a representation given to the government at that point of time? No. Yes. So therefore, the aspirations and hopes based on which the overall desire of the people will evolve. It's a process of evolution, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Anyway, he has chosen his way of putting his words, but I don't think it's in a good spirit. And please do not tend to blame or somehow articulate the things in such a way that one would like to pass on the blame. That is politics. I have during my submission, I have said that let us not play politics with these sensitive issues. That's why, see, we belong to different political parties, different spectrum. And therefore, we need to really do very careful tightrope walking. The way I have scripted the resolution itself, the Honorable Chief Minister has read himself. I have thought as to how to script it in a manner that in spirit we all can agree. And I'm successful in that, because we have put all our efforts, successive governments. Yes, I'm happy that I could start at Governor House. Yes. Governor, His Excellency Musahari was very pleased to laid a foundation stone during our time. And there is a lot of story about that governor house. The land was indicated for governor's house to construct a Raj Bhavan. Tura edition of Raj Bhavan. It took long time. In fact, I'm tempted to only say that how closely I'm personally involved in this. I had to request my wife to pay money for the land owners because the delay in acquiring that land ultimately was forcing the land owners to sell the land for others. I had to intervene. I had to request. I had to pay them money in advance so that they pay back my wife after the acquisition process completed. So all these things were completed. These are in sync with the aspirations of the people. So I'm happy that successive governments are taking appropriate steps in sync with the aspirations of all the people, whether it is the people of eastern part or western part. I thank the Chief Minister. He knows, he understands, because these whispering talks were there even during the time of Letpriya Sangma. I was witness to those whispering talks. So evolution of desires will ultimately manifest at appropriate time. And this is exactly what is happening. And I understand that Honorable Chief Minister has already understood his responsibility associated to fulfilling these aspirations. I am very happy. I know what you are planning to do because I can read between the lines. So, samajhdaro ke liye isara hi kafi hai. So, with these few words, I am very happy that he has appreciated the way it is scripted, and that itself is a testimony to his commitment to proceed further. He has already, in fact, pronounced in this August House. This has become a part of the proceeding of this August House. So thank you, Mr. Chief Minister. And with these few words, I am extremely profusely pleased to seek the House of, leave of the House to withdraw this resolution, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Since the mover has withdrawn his resolution, now let me put the question before the House. The question is that the mover has the leave of the House to withdraw his resolution. Those who are in favor say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. And the resolution is withdrawn with the leave of the House.